Hello, friends. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Sorry that the camera that you're looking at is just my back camera because I forgot the rest of it at home. But that doesn't matter because I've been Garrett Stan with Brad Logan, also Kentrell Lockett, one of the all-time Ole Miss greats. After Ole Miss beats Florida 34-24, this is the drive home. Brad, 40, immediately as we jump into this, what's your immediate takeaway from Ole Miss's win? Their 10th in 11 games this season, folks.
Yep, survive and advance, and that's exactly what Ole Miss needed to do today. You look at what Ole Miss did in the first half, played terrible, did not play well defensively. Second half, they came out, big game by Perkins. We saw Cam Frank. And pleasantly surprised me. His lane went to the end zone behind us, did the heart with his hands, took pictures with cheerleaders. I mean, it was just a very Chamber of Commerce moment, and I thought that really surprised me that he was so excited.
It definitely was. That moment to me kind of registered as that was picture perfect. Picture perfect would be in the last home game or just looking towards the future, that being the last moment, being in the student section and saying, I love you.
Yeah. Oh, I love you all. But maybe it was just a photo. Maybe it was just a moment. But hopefully that's all it was instead of him parting ways from the university.
Hold on. I think we might have an issue with audio. How are we doing now, folks? Tell me in the
tell us in the
comments. We're having technical difficulties because your friend Ben forgot to bring his camera. He was saying goodbye. There's a thumbs up. Okay, so let's talk about that. That was just a second ago. Okay. It's fine now. This is the drive home.
There we go.
I'm Ben Garrett at Spirit Ben. This right here is Brad Logan. This is Kentrell Lockett, one of the greatest Ole Miss Rebels of all time. Blocked the extra point in 2008.
Turbo King.
To make Tim Tebow cry.
I want to go back to just for a minute and give Ford just a chance.
What did we think of the Lane Kiffin stuff?
Yeah, in the end zone, someone just posted that they thought it was a goodbye. I don't know that I thought about that very much like that. Kentrell, what do you think?
That's what I saw. I mean, from watching previous games, I understand him going backwards and forward and saying how he wants the fans and everything to be engaged, but to engage with them in that moment and for that gesture to make, if you've seen and know what that means, I love you, but in that moment, in that second, it just felt different for me. And especially with the opponent and how the game turned out and everything that's going on with the coach carousel and everything in open positions, that's how I felt. But maybe that's just my own feeling and opinion.
So you thought he could look at the bottom line is this, as has been the case for multiple weeks now.
Yeah,
he has had every opportunity to squash it, and he's actively chosen not to. Just as he did tonight in his press conference, his post-game press conference. I asked him specifically about the "We Want Lane" chants and what that meant to him, and if he had anything he would say to those people who were chanting those things. He said nothing of consequence.
Same thing he said the whole time.
And he had got multiple questions, even more directly about Florida, and he still continued to avoid it. It's unfortunate that that's kind of overshadowing a lot of this, but at the end of the day, the best thing that Ole Miss can continue to do for all of these things, because these are nothing but good problems, is continue to win. And that's exactly what they did. And they did it in an impressive way, a way they hadn't done all year. They faced real adversity. And Kewan Lacey with 31 carries, 224 yards, 3 touchdowns. And that Ole Miss defense that was getting its, teeth kicked in early on, settled in a way and had to get key stops late. It's unfortunately we're still talking about this because he avoided it again. But dead gum, guys, Ole Miss is barreling toward the college football playoff. The only thing standing their way now is a win in the Egg Bowl, which is going to be hard. Yeah. But dead gum, this is more important than just what's going on with Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Here's something that needs to be said. Earlier this week, I had a conversation with someone of significance, and they pretty much point blank said, Kentrell, that if Ole Miss is in the playoff contention, if they beat Mississippi State and they solidify 11-1, they're head of the playoff. Quote, he's not going to leave. So that's the thing that you have to really think about. If Ole Miss continues to win, they've got a chance to play for a national championship. I can't imagine Lane leaving. And here's a kicker, too. I've never seen, my years of coming to Ole Miss football games, I've never seen Keith Carter that excited. I took a picture behind. It was Keith, his wife, and 2 of his kids. And you could just feel the love of Ole Miss.
Speak to me, guys. Speak to me. There we go.
Yeah, you could just feel the love of Ole Miss running through the veins of Keith Carter.
That's what was so great. And tell me if I'm wrong. Like, he was there on the field the whole time.
Yeah.
You and I were in the press box a lot. I came and sat out here in the white seats for a little while. That was the biggest Ole Miss has ever felt to me in my life, and I've been around it for 39 years. You've been around it longer.
Yeah.
40. You've been around it a long time too.
That moment.
Yes,
that was a special moment.
how loud it was, and that
moment.
that was a better atmosphere than Georgia last year, and it felt like Ole Miss was big time.
Broke the attendance record,
Yeah.
by the way.
68,318 or something like that. Ole Miss fans responded. So honestly, it's kind of on him to leave it open ended like he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Continue to leave it open ended like that.
And here's my thing too. The chat, by the way, is very, very pro Lane leaving. So here's my thought process. As long as you've got Keith Carter, and we saw Dr. Boyce, by the way, shaking hands before the game. He loves Ole Miss.
Yes, he
as
does.
long as those two guys are leading the university, I think Ole Miss is in fine shape, depending on what happens. But I didn't get that vibe that Lane was leaving. To me, it was like, hey, I'm going to go celebrate with the players and celebrate and get ready for a playoff run. Does he go to Florida? Does Florida wait? I don't know any of that. But right now, you've got a coach and you've got a team that's barreling towards the college football playoffs.
Right
This
there.
is one of the very best football teams that Ole Miss has ever had.
Even though I don't think it's one of the most talented Ole Miss has ever had, it's just a lot of really good football.
And they
players.
just figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know how good they are, but they figure it out and they win a lot.
They're great in moments.
Yeah.
They have bad moments, but when
Mic
it's
'em up.
time to overcome
Mic 'em up.
that adversity, they really put out. And this is my take on the Kiffin situation outside of that picture, right? Why go to a school and build a program of which you've already built here?
Yeah.
Why leave to go to a different football culture when you've created a winning culture here?
Right. It's
It's-
built here.
This is my take on it. Tell me what you guys think. All of those other schools and teams that's trying to pick and pry at our coach, why don't you just go get their players in the portal? Bring them here. Instead of going there, bring them schools here. And just continue to build a program. What you're doing now has never really been done here in Ole Miss football.
And I don't want to ever, I don't want to ever say that they throw around the terms blue blood. I hear the terms the higher upper echelon of the SEC. What we saw right out here was upper echelon of the SEC. The fans showed up today. You showed up today, and it was loud. It was raucous. It made a difference. Whenever Lagway was back in that end zone and you students were going ballistic, it changed the game. And that was, to me, was kind of the plays of the game. We'll get into the plays of the game, the helmet stickers. But to me, the difference tonight, and I know he's going to call me a bootlicker, but tonight the fans made a huge difference. I thought it was a big component of the game.
You're not a bootlicker because I agree with you tonight, man. Legit.
Yeah.
Ole Miss fans, I got to give them some credit here. All right. Seriously now, there's thousands of you watching this. Thousands. And that's Kentrell Lockett, one of the greatest Ole Miss Rebels ever. Blocked the damn extra point in 2008, and we can't even put him on a damn Jumbotron for Florida. I'm sorry. Anyway, 34-24. This is Brad Logan, Ben Garrett, the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, and affiliate of On 3.
Brought to you by our good friends at Allen Samuels, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Thanks, everybody, for the sponsorship. Huge numbers tonight. Keep chiming in. Let us know. Retweet the post. Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Just thank you, everybody.
Here's my thing. Y'all have answered time and again, over and over, and even with a layup of a question in the post game saying, hey, man, the Ole Miss fans, what an atmosphere, right? He was like, yeah, but were you here last week?
He was
And I'm
dismissive.
thinking, damn, dude, like the least you can do is say, yeah, man, that was the best atmosphere we've ever had here. So that constant deflection going into a bye week is quite frustrating if you're an Ole Miss person. It has to be. And I know that Ole Miss people, not just like stupid idiots talking on the screen just like me, but actual people that matter are frustrated by this as well. And I think, like, quite honestly, this needs to come to head in some way, form, or fashion next week because dadgum, every time he got an opportunity in post game to say something or to deflect, he didn't say a word.
No, he did.
He avoided it intentionally.
Thank you for bringing that up. I want to say a quick shout out to Drew Ingraham, the director of fan engagement. Tonight was awesome.
Awesome.
Laser show, drone show. Music was great. They played ABBA at the end. Thank you, Drew. I want to say thank you to Neil Mead and his entire team. They played with that trick too.
I suggested that.
Yeah,
I don't feel
they did.
responsible, but like I had a little prideful
Put it in
moment.
the hat.
I'm just
Eric
saying.
Wood, Keith
the
Carter,
best.
the entire administration, hats off tonight. And by the way, my dad, if you're watching, I did something tonight, Kentrell, I've never done before, and we'll get to the reason why. I typed out a cuss word, a 4-letter cuss word that begins with F. And I've never posted, over the hundreds of thousands of stuff I've done all of my life, I've never posted the F word. And I did tonight. Here was the context. Lane was so upset at halftime.
Yes, he was.
That he used the F word in description of the officiating.
He said,
and he was upset tonight.
"You can
too,
say, okay,
in
you
the
got
press
to bleep
conference.
it out, but I want to hear you say what he said. What did he sell the Ole Miss Radio Network?
I don't
Brad?
know the extent
He
of it.
said
but you can kind of.
They messed us over. They screwed us.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't say screw.
But when I say that it was one of the delights of my season here covering Ole Miss in 2025, that Brad had to finally type out a word that would make his mother would make him wash his mouth out. He's got to go sing in the choir in the morning.
I've got to sing in the choir tomorrow morning.
And buddy, you got to sing to God with that. But what a turning point that could have been, because I mean, dadgum, that could have really weighed on this game. They got it wrong. I mean, that was a hands to the face during the play. Should have had a first down for
You
Ole
heard what
Miss.
Lane said too. Matt Leffler told him, "Look, man, I'm sorry, we got it wrong."
And yet,
He admitted
there are no consequences for that.
No, they don't come. They don't. There's no pool reporters like the NFL. There's nothing. There's
When is
no.
there going to be a point where you can review flags?
Yeah.
Compared
Review
to reviewing
judgment
plays?
calls,
Right.
Like
when,
the NFL.
when is that going to come to a point? And this playing field is just as big as the NFL, so why not? It's causing game. That could have been a turning point, like you said. Game wouldn't have been as close as it would have been, and it would have been my actual score prediction. 31-17.
31-17. And the thing, it wasn't as close, especially later in the second half, as it ended up. 10 points was a good statement for, like, they were behind a lot of this game, but they dominated the fourth quarter, and about like middle third or 5 minutes left in the third on. And the first helmet sticker for me goes to Keywan Lacey, 31 carries, 224 yards, 3 touchdowns. Move over Quinshawn Judkins, the new single season record holder for rushing touchdowns, belongs to one Keywan Lacey.
And he broke another record too.
Go ahead.
All-purpose yards.
All-purpose yards. Man, you talk about the MVP of the season.
Not
It's
even
him.
close. Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
We can talk about Trinidad Chambliss. We can talk about a lot of folks, but buddy, Keywan Lacey, it's 1 or 2, and I don't think he's 2.
And here's one of my helmet stickers. This guy right beside me, and here's why.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I'm not just stroking his ego, but Tyler, thank you. And this was coming up, but it's people like Kentrell Lockett that make me enjoy college football. It's people like Kentrell Lockett that make you enjoy the world of college football. Most importantly, Ole Miss football. This team had not beaten Florida, Kentrell, since you.
Yeah.
And Greg Hardy.
Since this man blocked that field goal, he said, "Hey, Coach Rocker, Tracy Rocker, who is now in the NFL, I believe." He said, "Coach Rock, I think I can block an extra point." He said, "What are you telling me for? Go do it then." And he said, "All right, say less."
It was just that casual. And in doing it, I didn't understand the magnitude of what actually happened. Like me and Ben talked earlier during the week, I actually didn't know if I blocked it, if it went in, or where the ball even landed.
But he got it.
I was on the sideline celebrating and really didn't know what happened. And in hindsight, looking at that caliber of play it's like still to this day, that feeling is just crazy. And then to come back here and then to get the W again, and it's not the same situation, actually dominating the game. It's just a great feeling. It's great always to come back. And I appreciate you for saying that, man.
Before we get to helmet stickers, I got one more thing. What's it mean to you to be able to come back and to people say, "Hey, man, Kentrell, what's up, man?" Years later, you'll always be known. I mean, not just for the Florida game, but, man, you were an incredible athlete here. What does it mean to you to be able to come back and be recognized as a former Rebel?
It's such a great feeling. It just makes you feel so welcome and wanted. Just outside of what I contributed on the football field, you can see the actual love from the fans and how much they actually appreciate the players and the former players and what you actually put out on the field compared to just being a number or just being an extra guy. You're really a part of the family. And just for that play and for still to be recognized and noticed and for it to be talked about years later and after in certain different areas, situations, atmospheres, places, scenarios, it doesn't even matter. It always comes up. And when it's talked about, it's the same story. Man, that was one of the biggest plays. So it's such a great feeling. No matter where I'm at, the story always comes up when they find out that I'm Kentrell Lockett, who played for the Ole Miss Rebels.
And as long as I draw breath,
I know what you're about to say.
I will tell his stories and also say to him, "You ever tell me again not to worry about the Egg Bowl? You ever tell me not to worry about the Egg Bowl again?"
Let me give some background. That year, we were looking at, what was it? The Orange
Capital One Bowl.
Capital
We're
One
going to
Bowl.
spend Christmas at Disney World.
This is 08 or 07?
Oh, 09. Chris Ralph.
We were
Nightmare.
talking about, we going to Disney World, we in Orlando, we're going to be on the beach for the bowl game. So all we was talking about, me and him.
This is following the 45-0.
The 40, yeah. And he was like, "Oh man, that's Mississippi State." I said, "Man, we ain't worrying about Mississippi State. Like, that's just another game. We're gonna take care of that. We're gonna take care
Then
of that."
don't
And he
worry
kept
about
saying-
Mississippi State.
He was like, "Man, Mississippi State is always there." And just like he said, what happened. But let me tell you something, Mississippi State. It's a lull there.
Mhm.
They just
It's what they're
just
going to face in 2 weeks.
lull you to sleep. Just being in that arena, being in that stadium, is just something about it. It's like it's nap time, like they're playing sleepy time tunes or something to make you just drowsy or woozy, and them damn cowbells.
It
all at
doesn't
the
help
same
when you've been
time.
preparing for a quarterback, nothing like Chris
And
Ralph either.
right, the scheme we had and everything we had in practice was completely different when a different quarterback got in the game. So we were kind of making adjustments on the fly throughout the whole game, and we really couldn't get back in front, or really couldn't get a hold of things. But I regret saying that to him.
But
definitely
as long
regret
as I
saying that
draw
to him.
breath, I will tell my man 40 stories, even when he doesn't answer the phone. All right, my first game ball went to Keywan Lacey. I'm trying to pull up the defensive stats. Who is your very first game ball? And now 40 is going to give out a game ball too. So it's going to be 2 game balls apiece. I got one Keywan, I already took it. Your first one is who?
Well, I mean, I've got to go Wyatt Williams. I mean, I think he played great today. He had the interception, led the team in tackles, got beat on the one pass play, but really, the interception to me, 40, was one of the crucial moments of the game.
It was a turning point.
Now, Ole Miss defensive lineman, I don't know. Do we know who tipped the ball?
No.
Okay. Someone tipped the ball, and then Williams picked it off.
Mhm.
To me, I mean, it's just been the story of the year. Ole Miss finds a way at the end because Arkansas, remember, they ripped the ball away.
Right.
So many games this year, Oklahoma, they made a big stop. LSU, I mean, I could go on and on about the big stops. That was, to me, the turning point of the game. It felt like once they got that, even though they didn't go quite as planned as you liked it to, it ended that way.
Still gave them some possessions they didn't need to have.
That's
like, I
correct.
don't understand. Yeah, like coming out of a timeout, and if you run the ball twice, make them use their timeout, you're going to get it down to 125,
Right.
and he's thrown out of a timeout. Bizarre. And I got texts like people going, "Are we sure he's not throwing this game?" And I want to go, hold on. You know,
Braxton's unhappy.
Oh yeah, Braxton's saying some very crude things. Thought Perkins tipped it. Okay, so Sonny
Thank
P's
you,
the
Tyler.
one. Yeah, Sonny P's the one that tipped it.
Thank you.
But anyway, yeah.
By the way, big game by him tonight.
Big game.
He came in the second half. But anyway, so Wyatt gets my first game ball.
I'm definitely. I want to give Trinidad the game ball.
It's like
just
a quiet, good little.
Quiet game, but still numbers. Overcame adversity, throwing the pick. Even when the tip ball, when he caught the ball back, I was really nervous. I didn't know what happened. I thought the other team had the ball, but it's just certain things like that. He finds a way. He threads the needle. Even this game was not for the faint at heart.
No, it
certain
wasn't.
things that happened throughout the
It was
game,
not.
those certain passes and certain plays that were actually made by him, it kind of changed the momentum of the game in certain points. So I definitely have to give him the sticker because, man, the position he's in and the type of play that he's playing, no one expected it. And no one expected it to go consistently over these games. So I give him the sticker now, and I give him the sticker for previous games as well.
My next helmet sticker is going to go to Cedric Beavers, who's been playing a lot the last handful of weeks. He got picked on a little bit, made a big play on 4th down when DJ Lagway was in scramble drill. The stats don't jump out at you, but, man, that guy had a great spring. I know how disappointed he was that he kind of fell down the depth chart, mostly because of injury early in fall. And not until the last handful of weeks here late in the season has he come on really and gotten to play. And, man, I just feel like he's giving it his all out there, man. He deserves some recognition because that's a guy that's not going to be talked about enough. The fastest player on the team is Cedric Beavers. But it's taken him until November to really get some real run, and he's hanging in there, man. So I'm just going to give him one, even though I could give it to a lot of defenders after the way it started because it started really bad. Like Antonio Kite in his first game back after 2 weeks being out with a hamstring pull, they picked on him. They went right at him. I mean, he got beat across his face for that long gainer with the crosser. But then later in the game, started to find himself a little bit. But it was rough for a while, and I feel like some guys, at least late, Sage Ryan made a nice play on the ball.
He did.
Late, and that's a guy that's been picked on all year.
No doubt. This game ball I'm going to give, you're going to look at me kind of weird, just like probably you all always do.
No, stop.
With some of the worst goal line red zone play calling
So
offensively
bad,
that I've
dude.
seen. But I'm giving a game ball to Charlie Weiss Jr. And here's why I'm doing that. I know.
No, I'm listening.
You know what Ole Miss was on 4th down today?
I'm not. I got to find it before you can
5
say
of 7.
it. That's pretty good.
That's very good.
That's winning football.
It is.
That's winning football in winning time. And it is bad as Ole Miss with the I mean, second goal from the 2, and you run a dipsy-do with Austin Simmons, and then you come in and run some throwback. I just don't understand that. Whenever
Three times they were in, like, I think it was like 6 and in 3 times, and twice turned it over on down.
But I thought they utilized the middle of the
Something like
field really well. Trey Wallace had a huge game today. I thought Caden Lee made some very clutch catches. Many times he had to go down and get it. So yeah, I thought Ole Miss called a really good game today, with the exception of some red zone.
That drive
There's your stats.
coming out of halftime when they got the ball in Caden Lee's hand, that was the turning point of the momentum. The first couple catches that he had, that's when they actually got the ball going. Yep. It's like when they opened the playbook up. Why go away from something that worked all year? And then when they went back to their bread and butter, that's when the ball started moving.
Yeah, I've got a quick question for both of you. You guys have, especially 40 on the defensive side of the ball,
because he's got to pick his last helmet sticker.
What happened real quick in the second half, and what did Pete Golding do specifically from a defensive standpoint across the defensive front, because they put so much more pressure on Lagway, or at least they got home a lot more in the second half?
I just think it's they saw what they put on the field in the first half, just made some adjustments, as in keeping them in the box, so to say, and stop allowing them from get to the outside, or even with those passes, they like really kind of, because really where he was catching those deep balls were across the middle, like the middle was open. So the adjustments they made in that regard, and just a little bit more pressure, because he's a running quarterback already, and has the potential to be big play just with the ball in his hands. But then once you're behind the score, you got to put the ball in the air. So it's like it was almost someone's spine, but it wasn't someone's spine, but there was always pressure. So when a quarterback is uncomfortable, that's errant throws. There's judgment is changed and altered. So just keeping it honest, a little blitz here, or show a blitz and it's not a blitz, making them make decisions on the go. So when you put doubt in the mind, it's well, for me, playing defense, if you put doubt in the mind of a quarterback, make you think you're rushing and you're not, or didn't blitz, and actually just keep him on his toes, make him scramble, it kind of changes the game plan, messes up the timing, so to say, when it comes to certain passes or certain plays that they actually try to execute.
All right, before we do anything else as far as game and final thoughts and all this kind of stuff, thank you for joining us here on the drive home. Yes, we've rebranded again. I'm getting there. We've rebranded again.
Got to change the name.
They said we don't like live.
I sent you the new overlay, by the way.
I know, but I didn't use it. It's my fault. I also didn't bring my camera. You did a great job. It's my fault.
It's a really cool overlay, even though y'all don't get to see it.
You don't get to see it, but you do get to see me, Kentrell Lockett, Ole Miss, former Ole Miss defensive end.
Kentrell. You're awesome, man.
Brad Logan.
I'm kind of fanning out a little bit.
Good. Brad Logan is buttoned up and doing things right. I'm just swinging it and going by the seat of my pants because I'm dumber than a bag of dicks.
By the way, Kentrell, where did you get the hat?
It's really great.
Rubber rags.
Everybody saw the hat.
I got Terry.
Yeah. I
shout out Terry Warren.
A red corduroy one too. So I can be an advocate. I could be the walking rebel rag bull.
I'm saying, like, Terry, hook him up for everything, anything and everything Ole Miss. It's real rag. But also here, the drive home is brought to you by powered by the Ole Miss Spirit. OleMissSpirit.com to fit 13. That's who Ben Garrett, Spirit Ben. Sign up for $1. We do this all day, every day. The lane rumors, the full coverage of tonight's game, and everything. It's been in such an incredible run. And Brad's there too. He's right there hanging out and posting all his stuff and talking to you. And I'll get 40 set up sooner rather than later, and that way he can talk to the folks as well. But we're brought to you by Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Oxford. Thank you to them for driving us home on the drive home, all the support that y'all have shown for us in this post-game show, and it's growing all year. The last regular season game, I want to get to this. At what point does the AD push? And then he's talking about Keith Carter Lane for an answer. It's a legitimate question. And honestly, I think – you really can't, but I know that I believe honestly that Ole Miss will want some type of clarity next week, because whether we want to admit it or not, I think this is a Florida fan all aboard the Lane train. Lade gave you an answer. This postgame presser, he's gone, dude. I'm not saying, I don't know one way or the other. I've been consistent. You know this, both of y'all. I've told y'all the same thing. And everybody that asked me, all the people in the Grove, I appreciate it. It's so fun to talk to y'all. I've been consistent. It's either going to be the Ole Miss extension or Florida. And still given every opportunity, he's not squashed the rumors at all. So it's a coin flip at best, but I think Ole Miss by next week is going to want to know something. But after the Egg Bowl is like the drop dead deadline, because there's no way in hell, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, there's no way in hell you let him coach the playoffs if he's going to Florida.
Definitely. I don't. So a week time, so to say, at least to any inclination or say that you're leaning one way or not. But then at the same time, why would I say anything, or why would I leave if I have the potential to do something that's never been done before? Playoff berth or potential playoff win, and then to get into the championship. Why would I leave to go somewhere else and start from scratch?
And
so why
I mean,
do that?
What you got tonight, I think we all agree. Scoot over here. You keep drifting away. Come on, see. The greatest atmosphere in Ole Miss history.
Mm-hmm.
Is that crazy?
Crazy.
Is that crazy to say, though?
No.
That's right, right?
The drones.
Everything. Full production.
The fire.
The quality of the football. And Ole Miss getting a huge win to stay in playoff contention. Lane Kiffin deserves a lot of credit, most all of it, for what it's gotten to.
Mm-hmm.
It is, but like what you saw is what he's built. And if you're, I'm just going to say it, you could have put it away and multiple times said, "Oh, well, I'm not going anywhere. I love this place." He doesn't talk contracts during the season. Fine, but buddy, if you're dumb enough to leave this, what you have created, because this is unlike anything I've seen in 39 years with the Rebels, guys. It's just the truth. Then one, you're dumber than I thought you were, or two, you're just a dick. Because like Ole Miss fans continue, Ole Miss in resources with Keith and Glenn Boyce was here. They have done everything under the sun, right? So I think next week there should be some clarity, but if there's not, I think that'll be telling.
I'll tell all 3,100 of you that are watching right now. I was told earlier this week, very simple, that if Lane Kiffin had Ole Miss in contention for the college football playoff, that he's not going anywhere during that time. Would he leave after the playoff? I don't know. But while this team's in the playoff, he'd be crazy to leave this team. And if you look at the team further, what he's built, Kentrell just nailed it. I mean, you've already got what you need right here. You've got the players, you've got the fan support, you've got the administration. I've said it till I'm blue in the face. When you've got an athletic director in Keith Carter, a chancellor in Glenn Boyce, Walker Jones and the Grove Collective, and these fans behind you, what else do you need to compete in the SEC? What else do you need to win? He's got what he needs right here. And you're right. He hadn't come out and said, "Oh, I'm staying, I'm signing this change." He's got one thing in mind, and someone just posted a minute ago. He's worried about the Egg Bowl, he's worried about the playoff, and he's worried about winning a national championship. And so far, that's exactly what we've been told. So why would we say that Lane's telling us a lie?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I think it's a great position to be in.
It's the best position Ole Miss has ever been in. These are nothing but good problems, Kentrell. These are nothing but good problems.
These are not problems.
See,
it's not problems at all.
When we were down there on the field, we were talking, and over, what did we keep coming back to? He and I. It's different here now.
It's definitely different. It's. I'm getting chills thinking about it now.
I saw the chills, man.
What I experienced and when I played is completely different. Culture is similar, but the football culture is different. The winning ways are different. The getting down and feeling some type of way, you didn't feel that at all. The whole time when we were down or we were behind and things wasn't going our way, when I was sitting down, I was like, "There's time left. There's time left.
Man,
there's time left."
yeah.
That's a winning way. It's like the culture that he has built. It's like we're gonna find a way to win, and I felt that throughout the game. So why would you leave that, man? This is your baby.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something.
Look at that! Look at this. My daddy would take me to see Kentrell to play.
There it is.
That's crazy. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, what I say earlier though, you know how I know we were old though?
Right.
We the old man. Like,
yeah.
My daddy took me to see you.
We not old. Like early in the Grove. When I was in the Grove earlier, I met a guy. He was like, "Man, last time I saw you, I was 4." I'm like, "How you remember that?" He was like, "I got the picture." He showed me the picture, man. I'm like, "Oh, that was the real old 40." So just seeing things like that, and just the nostalgic aspect of it, it lets you know, like,
and she just lost her dad.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
She used to say,
so that's a fine memory to hold on to.
Because God is good, man.
All
That's
the
why
time,
he's supposed to be on this thing right here. I'm telling you, man.
That's awesome.
But
Well,
Ole Miss is different, and we kept coming back to that over and over again. Because, listen, me and 40 have been friends for a very, very long time. We've been through a lot of crap together. Yeah. And one thing we've consistently noticed is like how, the different seasons of Ole Miss and how it's changed. He has not seen this place in so long. Like, really seen it.
When I was here, there was a lot more trees. There's a lot more buildings, a lot of things to see. And just being in the inside of the stadium and the interaction with the fans and stuff, we didn't when I played, there wasn't any of that. It was just hotty-totty throughout the game. Like the KISS camera, all of those things, and the drones were insane, first off.
Crazy.
And the lighting on the actual field during the game, all of that was insane to me. So that culture that just has been that has just surrounded the football team for the past few years is second to none. It's second to none. I missed it.
It was a unit
Yeah.
for the Rebels.
And I want to follow up real
And
quick.
Mary says, "Thank you, God is good all the
Yeah.
time."
Mary, let me tell you, first of all, sorry about your dad passing. But, it's kind of a full circle moment for all of us because you look at what we saw tonight, and Ben just perfectly said, this is the best crowd, the best atmosphere in the history of Ole Miss football. We've said the history of Ole Miss football a lot,
Mhm.
and it's happened a lot this year. But what it means is there were 68, whatever thousand the record is out here. But how many millions of people around the country were able to watch this team?
Yeah.
And how many people were watching it with their family, with their kids? How many people were screaming hotty toddy here at home, hugging their family, smiling, crying, having a big time? And that's what it's about. I mean, the college experience, and people like Kentrell know this because you, to this day, will forever be an Ole Miss Rebel. I mean,
Most
you will
definitely.
forever be the guy that
glad he
did
showed
so
up.
many things.
I'm just
in
glad he
Oxford.
pulled. I'm just glad he
And,
pulled it up.
Javad Patterson and his entire team do such a wonderful job bringing former players back. And it gives us a great opportunity to thank the former players. But more importantly, it gives you guys a chance to come back and just be loved. And fans, I can't say it enough. And for folks that are jumping on, I can't say enough about the difference that you made tonight. You are such a difference. And what's really funny to me is that I have lived my entire life talking about Ole Miss and the game day environment being the erector set, the bleachers in the end zone, about not being a blue blood, about a high school stadium. Well, guess what? All of that can be flushed down the toilet because Lane and you and these players, these former players, have changed the total dynamic of Ole Miss football, and it all goes back to the fans led by athletic director Keith Carter, and it is a really, really good day for Ole Miss.
Here's the thing. I think the most honest thing Lane said in that post-game press conference, he said, and it's from the office, like Andy Bernard said it. I wish somebody would tell me it's the good old days when you're actually in the good old days. This is the good old days. And that is honest. And yes, he is undecided. I think it's still the same as it was last time we talked about this, and I was facing you, Ginger Shrek, on a podcast, and I said, man, it's either the Ole Miss extension or Florida. I don't think LSU's in this, y'all. He ain't going to Auburn. From everything I know, and I know Ole Miss people, like the people that matter, like I've heard a lot more optimism today than yesterday, and yesterday wasn't as good. So like they're encouraging things. They're encouraging things here, but he's still left it non-committal. But he's right because man, we're all worried about what's next. Look at what is, and what is that Ole Miss is single-digit wins away from winning the first national championship in 60 years. I'm sorry, guys. Y'all might say you're crazy, man. I don't give two shits what the man does right now. I just don't care.
And here's another thing to understand too is Keith Carter, you guys, the administration, they are Ole Miss. You guys, the players, all that. Lane Kiffin is someone that has come in and has completely resurrected the program. And like Ben said,
but it's not just about him.
Live in the moment, man.
And it's not just about him.
No, it's so much.
What y'all showed tonight is this isn't just cults of personality stuff no more. Ole Miss has got a formula that others have tried to replicate, duplicate, and they can't. They can't do it. They haven't been able to do it. And yes, Lane Kiffin is such an integral big part of that. And everybody wants him to stay here. And like he always used to say, he wants the statue, man. Well, dang, you ain't going to get it anywhere but right here. I promise you, especially win this off and win a national championship.
It's definitely going to be a statue.
Hey, but listen, if you want to go to, like, Ole Miss is going to give him whatever he wants. If he goes to Florida, it's because he just wanted to go to Florida. Hey, understood. What I saw tonight was a program that says we're bigger than just, riding the coattails of a cult of personality. You could have said something to squash it all, and you decided not to. That's fine and dandy. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But Ole Miss fans, you have agency here. You have agency. And I think Ole Miss, when I say that, also like Keith Carter, Glenn Boyce, they know they have agency here. And next week is a bye week. They got state in 2 weeks. What do you think next week's going to be about? What else do you got to do? What else do you got to have, Lane? You know what I mean? To make some, like, I don't talk during the season. Well, tough shit, because unfortunately, Dan Welcome was right. The timeline is what it is. The NCAA is broken in that way. It's unfortunate in the best season in Ole Miss history that this is dominating everything. It shouldn't be the case, but it is. And they're going to need to know something sooner rather than later. And tonight, unfortunately, he didn't give them that. But what he did give them is their latest win.
Yeah, by the way, Ole Miss fans, you have a seat at the table. You're not sitting in the back. You're not, well, let's see how we're going to fumble this away. Let's see how we can mess this up. No. To quote the great L.A. Knight, no. This is a team that has played really well. This is a team that has figured some things out. Like Forty said, this is a team to where when their back's against the wall, don't play as well maybe as they have before, they figure out a way. And Ole Miss is absolutely in the college football playoff discussion, and Ole Miss fans can hold their head up high. They're not sitting at the back of the table anymore. They're at the table.
Do we want to go to Atlanta?
Of course, we want to go to Atlanta.
See,
I
but
agree
like
with 40.
well, here's
An 11-2 makes the playoff and probably host a playoff game.
well, all I know is Oklahoma beat Alabama today.
And that's good for Ole Miss.
Texas A&M came back on. My gosh, South Carolina.
It was
That was
30-3.
You know how many times a team has blown a 27-point lead in the SEC in history? Once today. And Lenore Sellers on 3rd and 12, and then on 4th and 16, game on the line, man tries to tuck it, runs to the throwing it. Talk about a team that's really let people down. If it was ever an obvious nonsense farce that they should have been considered for the playoff over Ole Miss last year, you're seeing right here and now. Ole Miss is the real deal. South Carolina was the pretender. But the point remains is like, what do you want more? The path of least resistance to a national championship, or to check another box, another historical box off the Ole Miss checklist? Because it doesn't necessarily help you with the playoff.
You can have both. You can have both, and that's what I've always said. It's just historically, I would love to be able to go to watch Ole Miss play in the SEC championship game. So, but the good news is Ole Miss. And real quick, I want to say this: you talked about Chris Relf and that 08-09 season. Ole Miss is going to have 2 quarterbacks to prepare for: Kamario Taylor, the running quarterback, and also Blake Shapen. So, kind of, but it won't be a surprise when Kamario Taylor comes in. They'll be able to prepare for both. And I asked Lane about the bye week, and he gave the Lane answer. So, yeah, they'll have Mississippi State in 2 weeks. The good news, I think that game's at 11 o'clock. So you avoid the night game. You avoid the loud cowbell at night. Now you'll get a loud cowbell during the day. Last I checked, I don't know what the final was, but I think Mississippi State was trailing 42-24. So
it smells different during the day than it does at night.
It's just a different place.
What does it smell like?
Cow patties. Man, that cow patties, I promise you.
Give the mic. I'm telling you, I know exactly.
Cow patties out there. I'm telling you.
There was somebody that he got in here in the comments, and they lost a family member at like 7 p.m. tonight. Condolences, man.
Yeah.
I hate that, and but
it's real life.
It's real life, man. And that's
people say it's just sports, but you know what? Sports kind of intertwines all of us. Sports is above race. It's above everything, and that's what kind of brings us all together. And whenever you go and you have passings, and you go and you have family reunions, and you go and you have great events, the great part about it is you can always have the camaraderie of having sports, and that's what's the beautiful part about it.
And Ole Miss has never felt bigger than it did tonight, man. 34-24, beats Florida, 10 wins in 11 games. It's a historic thing. Keywan Lacey setting records. Lane Kiffin could have made it a perfect night. He decided not to. That's on him. At the end of all things, you think he stays or goes?
I think he stays.
Brad, you think he stays or goes?
I think he stays. And real quick, I don't know that he's staying because he wants to. I think he's staying because he has to. And here's what I mean by that. Maybe he wants to, but if you're in the hunt for a college football playoff, he's not leaving.
Right.
So he may want to go to Florida, but is Florida going to wait around until January on Lane if Ole Miss makes a run to the college football playoff? Because this team out here tonight in the second half can play with anybody.
Can play with it, most definitely. And I think that time is still going to have a lot of speculation in the air and everything, but I still don't believe he leaves. You take care of Mississippi State, then you put yourself in perfect position for playoff game win, potential playoff wins, and all those. Why leave? It's like it would be so crazy to me, or it would be like so weird or ironic just to why. I don't understand it. Like it really would make no sense.
And he's actually kind of said that by saying, when he got here, when they played Florida in the COVID year, he said, Kentrell, you heard him, that the athleticism between the two teams were so far apart. He said, we scored a late touchdown, but they had a much better team. Mm-hmm. That's not the case anymore. Mm-hmm. So he shifted that. And he's all but said that this place can win. Mm-hmm. He's got the fan. He asked the fans. They showed up. He's got the roster.
They keep responding.
He's asked for money.
And over.
The money's there. Mm-hmm. He's asked for administrative help. It's there. Mm-hmm. Everything that he's asked for, he has been given on a silver platter. A silver platter. And
That's the most emotion I've ever seen from you ever. That was awesome. Dude, I think I'm rubbing off on you as far as fiery,
Yeah.
Aha! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, here's the truth. I had an Ole Miss administrator tell me straight up: the more Ole Miss keeps winning, the better for this. The more Knox keeps winning the playoffs, the better for this. Because you're right, the timeline becomes untenable. In 3 years, if you want to go to Florida, fine and dandy. You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, Florida's going to be hired or firing another coach in 3 to 4 years. All right, but right here now, the Ole Miss Rebels are 10-1.
When's the last time Ole Miss won 10 games in a season? I don't know.
Oh no, this is the third straight 10-win season. The first head coach in Ole Miss history to do that.
Yeah.
Though. Like, you keep making history, and that's awesome, bro. Like, again, you want to leave all that, and I firmly believe yesterday, if you'd asked me, and I've been consistent, what have I said? Ole Miss extension or Florida? That's what I believe is Spirit Ben. At Spirit Ben on Twitter. The Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com.
When you're not locked out of your account.
When I'm not locked out of my account, help me. Someone help me get into my account. But I am locked out outside of the live post game. Like that, at least it'll stay alive that way. At least that's good. Get me back in there. But what I've said is the extension or Florida. Yesterday, I would have said Florida, honestly. Today, I'd say Ole Miss. But it's that much of a coin flip. And quite frankly, now that you go into the bye week, it's time for it to come to a head. I wish he'd have figured it out tonight and really kept a perfect Ole Miss day. He didn't do that. But one Ole Miss administrator straight up said, man, keep winning. And these problems figure themselves out. You know what I mean? Like, they figured themselves out. And then again, in 3 years, when Landry's gone, the Kit Knox is gone, you want to go back to Florida? Whatever. Right now, the here and now is Ole Miss is 10-1.
What I meant to say, 3 years they've won 10 games. That's correct, right? 3 out of 5 they've won 10 games. Oh,
yes, 3 out of 5.
Okay,
and the third, no, 4 or 4. Yeah, 3 out of 5. Look at this.
That's in the press conference.
I saw it.
40.
I saw it. R.I.P. Phyllis.
R.I.P.
Phyllis.
The old Talk of Champions days.
That's throwback.
That is throwback.
So I appreciate it, Tyler. That goes all the way back. Story.
Oh.
Well, weird. We were going to, what was it? SEC Media Days?
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the car, and we just see this random sticker on the back of a car. Huge. Take up the whole rear view.
Prayer
I'm
hands,
like, how do you see? Prayer hand, wings, everything. R.I.P. Phyllis going across the back of the window so big. And that alone consumed our whole drive to SEC
because
Media
it was
Days.
a philosophical discussion.
Yeah, it just kept going backwards and forth, and man, it just was something. It was something so small that turned into something so big. It was just something as simple as that sticker. Like, nah.
Well, here's the funny part about it is because I went, man, why would you do that to your back windshield? And 40 looks at me and goes, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Like, you're still talking about it. In the year of our Lord 2025, we're still talking about it, and we're still getting R.I.P. Phyllis.
R.I.P. Phyllis.
There's never been a more successful back sticker.
I remember saying, I'm like, well, they're saying R.I.P. Phyllis. They can't see out their back window. It might be R.I.P. them.
Yeah, but also
it's completely covered.
It's worked. It's worked for them. All right, so that's what I think. I think as of today, I would probably put it on him staying. It's a coin flip. But the most important thing is the Ole Miss Rebels are 10-1. Thanks to Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Oxford. Thanks to you, the Ole Miss fans. 4,000 and something people watching this is thrown together this year by me and Brad in the press box, and it's been a lot of fun. And
it all started right down there at the field suite. We
Yep.
said, hey, let's try this out. And then 4,300 people later here.
And 40 hanging out with us for the regular season finale. We'll be back in 2 weeks after the Egg Bowl. He's going to be in Starkville. I'm TBD. I said I'd never go back. You know that.
I know.
I'll be there.
Kyle Patty.
Yeah.
I'm never.
Kyle Patty.
I said I would.
I want to say thank you to so many that sponsor both of our projects, if you will, the Ole Miss Spirit.
Riverland Roofing, DNA Bank, Drew Moak of USA Benefits Group, and then, of course, Allen Samuels.
And I want to say thank you to everybody that sponsors us here on the Logan Media Network. Had Chris Doring last week, great interview with Murphy Holloway. Had a ton of people. We've got a big lineup next week as well. So thanks to everybody that followed us on the Believe in Ole Miss podcast. I want to say a special thank you to Debbie Johnson Realty at Kester Real Estate. And, of course, T. White's. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring us. Of course, Dead Soxy, Arriva, Connie's Chicken, and the Hearn Law Firm. Thank you, guys.
Man, kind of live. That was a long list.
That's a lot.
No wonder
thank you.
No wonder you dresses so well. You can't hide money. You can't hide money. This has been The Drive Home, rebranded from Live After Lane. Don't let the drama that is Lane Kiffin and the orbit that he's everybody orbits around him. Don't let that, for you, Ole Miss fan, take away from the fact that your Ole Miss Rebels are on the cusp of doing something you have waited your entire life for. That is the story that matters, and that's the one we're going to go home on. Take care. Be good. See you at the Ole Miss Spirit. OleMissSpirit.com. Flip on 3. For Kentrell Lockett, that's 40. For Brad Logan and Ben Garrett, let me into my Twitter account again, please. Twitter, please. We'll see you soon. Enjoy the ride. Exactly right. Enjoy the ride.